According to one recent survey, 74% of U.S. doctors believe divine miracles of healing have occurred, and 73% believe they still occur today. Amazingly, 55% say they have personally seen medical results in patients that they can only describe as miracles. But I think there's a couple of even deeper lessons to be learned here. First, I believe the woman's suffering profoundly affected her. I believe that because suffering often does do that to people. A man named Terry Anderson had been held in Lebanese rebels for several years. In all that time he lived in isolation, never able to see his wife and children, being constantly threatened and deprived of some of the most basic needs of life. He noted, "We come closest to God at our lowest moments. It's easiest to hear God when you're stripped of pride and arrogance. When you have nothing to rely on except God. It's pretty painful to get to that point. But when you do, God's there." A preacher named Bob Soren had a surgery to remove an ulcer next to his vocal cord. They permanently damaged his throat, leaving him with a remnant of a voice that hurt if he even tried to whisper more than an hour a day. It would have been a terrible tragedy for anyone, but the suffering was multiplied. How can a preacher preach without a voice? In the years that followed, Bob learned firsthand about suffering. He noted, "God has unfolded purpose for me. He transformed the way I think, everything about me. The crucible sufferings causes you to be desperate for God and to press into Him." Suffering had a profound effect on that woman Jesus healed, and suffering can have a profound effect on us as well. It can change us. It can strip away all life and cause us to realize what's really important in our lives. And it can draw us closer, a more personal walk with Christ. The second thing to be learned here is that Jesus gave this woman exactly what she needed. You see, Jesus had already healed this woman. He had been on his way to heal a little girl who was dying. He was walking along with a prominent religious leader, and she was just a common woman that nobody wanted to be around. Why stop now and make a spectacle when there were so many more important things to do? Jesus could have done and said anything he wanted to do at this point, but he chose to turn the spotlight on this woman, who wanted nothing more than to slip away into the crowd and make her way home.